as we prepare for a very good Arizona Wildcat team, we've got a lot of things we need to work on. But I like the way our guys played the other night against Texas San Antonio. We executed well. We made very few mistakes defensively and offensively. Um, so hopefully we can carry that over into tomorrow night's game. It's always every game is important, but certainly this is a big challenge for us, and it gives us another chance to measure ourselves and see where we are as compared to a top team in the country. Any questions?
Coach, did you like how Ross came in and he just kind of seemed like he was just kind of filling it up and came in and just kind of got after it?
Well, Aaron Ross is very capable of that. He's probably our best pure shooter. And you talk about just technique and form. He has a pretty shot, beautiful rotation, and when he's getting better, coming off knee surgery, and we worked hard to rehab. I got to give a lot of credit to our trainer Keith Garnett and everybody that worked with him to help him recover. When I first got here last year, he couldn't do anything. He hadn't even started on a treadmill yet, and so he's come a long way, and he's a guy that can help us with his ability to make the open shots, shoot the jump shot. He can stretch the defense, so that's what we're hoping he can continue to play the way he did and build on what he's shooting for a very high percentage, just like Jay and Jordan. And those are the guys that I felt with a healthy Aaron Ross. He gives us a lot of front line depth that we need, especially if we're going to play. Because I like Jay staying at the 3 spot, and that means that we can. I have confidence that Aaron can do the job there at the off. And now he's got to get better defensively. That's his biggest challenge right now.
From a confidence standpoint, does it help your guys that they've seen this Arizona team last year?
I don't know. We'll see. It's they obviously are familiar with those because there's a few like Gordon that was the freshman and some other very talented players on that team that they didn't see, but for the most part they saw all those players. I haven't watched the game from last year, but I assume they played them pretty. I saw the first 10 minutes and they played pretty solid, and so I haven't really watched the rest of the game because it looked like they pulled away. Arizona pulled away there. So we know we've got our hands full. They're a very young team, and Aaron Gordon is one of the top freshmen in the country, but they have a lot of weapons in Brandon Ashley and Tarczewski. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not pronouncing it right, son, it's my mistake. I apologize.
Coach, you mentioned it earlier. Just talk about how this type of competition playing against Arizona is going to benefit you guys in the Big 12.
Well, again, it's a chance to see where you are in comparison to what, a team that's undefeated like Arizona, who's playing extremely well. Coming off their win against Duke, they've got to be feeling pretty confident about their ability. So any win this time of the year against any opponent should give you confidence, but especially against they're number 2 ranked now in the country. But I know it's a tough place to play. I've never coached at the McHale Center, but I hear it's a great place, great atmosphere, great fans. So it'll be a real challenge.
Against the number, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay. Against the number 2 team in the country, what do you want to see from your guys?
I want to see a win, number one, but I want to see them keep their composure in that type of environment. Last time we played a team of this caliber, Pittsburgh, we didn't fare too well. So I hope we learned some things from that game, and on the road against Alabama, where we didn't execute very well. We had 17 turnovers in both those games, 17 or more, and that's the big key when you're on the road and when you're playing in a hostile environment. You've got to take care of the basketball and execute and stay focused and keep your concentration. So that's what I want to see is how we, our maturity. We've got a very mature team. We've got some veteran players, and they've been in these in hostile arenas before, so they'll respond the right way. We responded pretty good in Alabama. Just we just allowed kid to get off to such a great start there. It was tough to reel him in, Relaford. So, and that's what you can't allow. You can't allow them to get the big going, get going, get the crowd in. If we can keep the crowd out of it, that's important.
How do you plan to match up defensively against Arizona?
Well, the way we normally would, we would probably start on, because Gordon is such a long three-man, 6'8", 6'9", Jay will start on him, and then everybody else will match up the way we normally would match up. I think with their big people, we'll start the same lineup we started before. But as far as the matchups are concerned, they've got some quickness there. I like, in Rob, I think we have and they have McConnell. I guess it's McConnell. He's a very talented point guard, transfer, who can really push the ball up the court. A very heady player. And at 6'1", I think we have some maybe a little size there. I think Rob is about 6'2", 6'3", not much. And Rob has kind of been the catalyst and the engine to Al, pushing the ball, getting the ball up the court. So we still want to play our game. And I'm really concerned at the 2 spot. If there's a concern, you got to defend a guy like Nick Johnson, who's an outstanding player. So Dusty's going to have to bring his best defensive game of the year in order to defend those guys. And then Ashley can shoot the jumper, so Jordan has had his trouble guarding. In fact, he fouled out last year's game, and so did Dayon, so we have to play without fouling.
What do you think the offensive keys are to keeping pace with them?
Take care of the ball. I think number one, you got to take care of the ball offensively and execute. I think the other things is you've got to, it can be an attack type mode. You can't be, you got to be aggressive. You got to stay aggressive, and you have to play to win, and not be playing not to lose. So I think that's the courage and the heart that you have to show there. You got to play with a real, with a toughness, and with a swagger that in the midst of that type of environment. I think that's what we have to do offensively. You got to make shots. If we can get the ball inside, where we're pretty effective, where we've been effective, and then when we do throw it back out, we'll get some consistency in the outside shooting. We'll be okay.
It's a big challenge, man. It's a big test for us, and it'll really let us know where we are on the year.
How much confidence do you guys take, knowing at least you've played this team last year, or at least some of the guys on this team?
They got a couple players from last year, so we going in confident. We're not going nowhere to lose. Going in there with Tubby, going in with Jay. Jay's playing really well. We're not going nowhere to lose.
Jordan, do you enjoy going to hostile environments like you went to Cal Center?
Yeah, it's kind of more pressure, but it makes it more fun, and the feeling of winning, it'll be amazing if we could pull off a win at Arizona.
What do you have to do defensively to own the block down low? I know they like to get it down just to push them out of the lane.
Just stop penetration and just ball pressure from the guards and not letting them get it in, and then playing high and loose. And then once they get it, we're gonna 4-5 trap them, try to keep them off the glass as much as we can. They rebound really well.
You played against Alabama, you played against Pitt. But they're not Arizona. Kind of talk about how this competition kind of prepare you guys for Big 12.
Pittsburgh is one of the best teams we played. They were really physical, so that was probably a bigger test for us than Arizona will be, because Arizona is up and down with I don't think they're as physical as people think they are. But if we can stop them in transition and out rebound them, then we can get a win.
Jay said that y'all called a team meeting after the Pitt game. What did y'all talk about, and what has really improved since then?
We just talked about communicating on defense, because it all starts on defense. Transition, when teams get easy baskets, that's when we lose. And Pitt got out a lot and got a lot of easy baskets on us. So we just talked about communicating, and and just it's not a game. It is a game, but when we step on the court, it's business. So we just have to get refocused.
you guys were really disappointed after the Pittsburgh game and turned around against a decent Houston team and then did what y'all could against UT San Antonio. So do you feel like you're riding a more positive wave of momentum than earlier in the season?
Yeah, it just shows that we could bounce back. After taking a loss, a 20-point loss. Some team could come out and they would just lose. Another game and just keep on losing and keep on losing. But we just showed that we could bounce back.
How does Aaron Ross's game complement your game, which seems to be a more traditional post game with his stretch 4 or 5?
Man, he's just a spark off the bench, and it's more points for us, and he's tough inside. He can guard a 4 or 5, and he just opens it up for us with his shooting.
From what we've seen from him already this season, is there more possible, or is he reached his peak already?
I don't think any player plays a game to just stay at one level, so it's always going to be more possible for any of us on the team.